Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage. It's so good to see you. I have been out picking flowers this morning. So when you see this Art in Bloom thing, you are going to be so happy to see that, for one thing, it's right side, not mirrored, because Facebook's fixed its wrench disappearance, odd disappearance. So happy about that. And now I can actually see comments. Awesome, Jewel. It's nice to see you. I hope you are feeling better. Now look at this. So I was out cutting flowers, and here, hi Trudy, it's good to see you too. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it has been so nice to be able, normally I cut flowers anyway because I have so many of them. But this year, because we're going to be moving the house when we sell it, or when we leave it, we've already sold it, when we leave, you know, I kind of have to have it cut back because I am thinking they might not be as diligent about pruning as I am. And so I'm going to go ahead and just cut a whole bunch. Hi, Andy. It's good to see you. Thank you for sharing so much, you guys. That is so nice of you to do. Thank you so, so much. All right, so that is Mock Orange, and this is actually Easy Does It. And I think this is Sheila's perfume. I'm not exactly sure. I kind of forget. Now, look at this, though. I had to get some peonies and stuff. This is Golden Celebration. That one smells really good. There's some clematis in there. There's another clematis. Those are looking best they've ever looked out there. A little Japanese iris, a little bleeding heart, and there's a peony. And there's probably another one in there somewhere too. And actually this one is Iceberg Rose, and that one is just in bloom all summer long. It never ends. It's just one of those flowers that keeps going and going and going, kind of like your Timex watch. All right, so thank you for letting me share my flowers with you. I'm going to do a little envelope card box card thing. I think that you will like it. And I'll also try to get a card done with this Art in Bloom because I want to show you what it looks like. And I need to get my video on here and see if I can even find it. So while I am doing that, I will put my camera down. Thank you, ladies. I'm glad that, yes, Trudy, I am enjoying them. Although I keep reminding myself, like on my Tri-City Crow Garden page, I've been putting pictures of our garden because I want to, savor every minute of it. And the clematis is blooming really, really good right now. I mean, just amazingly good. So, let me get my sound off here. You can hear me double speaking there. All right, now, Sylvia, it's nice to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Thank you for joining me. All right, you can see that I have a host code going here. Thank you so much for your orders, ladies. I do really appreciate it. This is a host code, and you are going to get if you check it, you have to check out as my customer. I always hope when people don't check out as a customer, if they check out as a guest, I don't get your information. I'm not allowed to contact you. So if you check out as my customer with your name and address, you will get a PDF for this cute little cowboy boot. Now, Andy, I am saving your pens in this boot because that one is going to you. I think you already got a boot before, but you also get my PDF so you can make it yourself if you want to. All right, I thought I turned the sound off, but I think I just turned it down. There we go. Now it's off. Fabulous. All right, so here we go. The little, look at this. Have you guys got this paper yet? This is Expressions in Ink. And I showed it to my team because I don't know that any of them have ordered it yet, and they are going to want to. I've used so much of it already. Let's see what I have left. Each side has a gold vein or gold image side, and then the other side doesn't, but the other side that doesn't is all just gorgeous too. Look at that. Now, I might have already showed you guys this. If I did, I apologize, but if you're looking at Pinterest things, you probably have just seen, now this is the only sheet that only has the gold as the specks in the flowers, but it still is just, oh, this is my favorite one. I'm down to one sheet on that, huh? Anyhow, next week I'm gonna do, I think, a little bag with one of these papers, because this is so pretty. I'm kind of hating to use it all up, but I'm trying to use things up so that I don't have a bunch of things left over when we are moving. All right, now let's see if my lighting is halfway decent here. And I'm gonna move the camera down just a little bit and see how this is looking. It looks a little dingy. I'm not sure why, but it does. I kind of covered up my glass because it's just been hard to manage the light. So when you do a box card, okay, a little envelope box card, you can just start with a sheet of cardstock using your 8.5 by 11, by 11, and you're gonna cut 5.5 by 10 3/4 is what this whole thing is. So 5.5 by 10 3/4, and then just use an envelope to do this part here, you know, to just do a little mini envelope. And it doesn't really, as long as it's not going to be, this score line is 4 1/8. So as long as you're just getting it to that point, you're going to be fine. It doesn't really have to be, and you could use, right now we've got some, oh man, they're really cute. Where are they? Our envelope, we've got, no, that's not the envelope one. Where's the envelope one? We've got an envelope edge. I should have got it out ahead of time, but I didn't think about it until just now, because I actually don't want a decorative edge. But we've got, where are our envelope things? Huh, I got it here somewhere, but I can't find you. Oh well. Detailed layers, detailed ovals, window. I've got everything over here except for the envelope. You've totally disappeared on me, of course, because I'm looking for you. Where could you possibly be? Oh my goodness, I can't find it. It doesn't really matter, because you could use any die that had a decorative edge if you want to for this. We're gonna just cut out a little tiny edge here, and I'm just gonna use a stitched circle or something on that, or maybe I'll even use my Hippo and Friends to do the little, because you want this to come down a little bit here. And then your score lines, like I said, this is 4 1/8, and then you go to 5 inches, and then this one is 9 1/8, and this is 10 inches. And then you're gonna have a little tiny piece that's gonna fit in here. You're gonna just glue it down, and then it's gonna fit in here to be the stand that we're gonna stick our flowers that we're gonna stamp on. And then what you're gonna end up with, let me find a box that's my template box. You're gonna end up with a little box card envelope. It's gonna fold flat so you can stick it in an envelope. And when you stand it up, now this is my template, so I don't have anything in there, but I'm gonna have stuff in there. Your little flowers will be exploding out. I'm sure you've seen these before. It's not anything terribly new, but it is new to me, so I'm gonna have fun doing it. All right, so then you do this little piece that's going in here, and this piece is 5 inches by 1 3/4 inch, and then your score lines are just 3/8 of an inch on each side. Okay? All right, so that's what we're going to do. And now I cut this out. I cut out my little envelope shape, and I want to round that top. So I'm going to go ahead and do this like this. Let's do it upside down. Yes, Jewel, you are so right. Once I finally realized that I was pushing it wrong. If you push, see what I was doing when I couldn't get this corner rounder to work very well? What I was doing is I was pushing too much on the side, because it's a big punch. This is a bigger punch than we normally have, and when I pushed on the side, I wasn't getting good cuts easily, and I was struggling a lot just flat on top and push. Duh. I'm sure you guys are like, well, I don't know why that was hard, but you know, you just have to remember some of us aren't as smart as others, so we live with it, and it keeps us humble. All right, thank you again, you guys, for sharing. All right, so we've already got our score line, so we're just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glue here. We went down to actually Nampa, which is right by Boise, Idaho, to see our son. It's going to be his birthday, and we had a wonderful time. He is delightful, and their family is really delightful as well. They're very fun. They have a 4.5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and they're really cute. Of course, every grandparent thinks their grandkids are the cutest. I understand that, but we all know secretly inside that ours actually are. Everyone else just says it, but we just know ours actually. Oh, wait, you fool. I forgot to cut this out. I've got to cut this out before I do that. So let's grab my hippo die. And I could use a punch actually, but instead of using a punch, we'll do this. We're gonna do a little decorative edge here, okay? Using this die. So let's grab this out. Stick you in there. I've got some glue. It's gonna kind of, let's do it this direction, because I think I'd rather have my glue on my plate than on my machine. That's gonna it's kind of gluey there now. Although my stitchery is not gonna look as nice because I'm doing it that way, but that's life. It's the way it's gonna have to be. And let's get it straight, reasonably so. We went to a restaurant while we were there that is in the airport. It's the Airport Cafe. I don't know. I think it's called Terminal Cafe, actually. Isn't that a funny name? Because, of course, it's an airport terminal. But Terminal Cafe normally probably would not be appealing to people thinking that there's, you know, good food and they're wanting to eat. Look at this that came out of my machine. Maybe I wonder if I've got ink on there somewhere. I don't know. But anyhow, my little stitchery, see, is just little bit off because of that. I could, of course, if I hadn't already glued it, just go this direction. But now I've got glue there, so I'm going to be stuck with it. That's what happens when you make these little mistakes. They had the most giant cinnamon roll ever. It was giant. It was as big as any ones that I've had. But the thing about the cinnamon roll was that it was perfectly done all the way through. It was not gooey in the middle at all. It was the best cinnamon roll I've ever had, I think. Now, when you glue this, you want to fold this flat and make sure that this is going nice and flat. If you just glue it, see, it's actually sticking out tiny bit, but if I hadn't flattened it, I probably would have evened that up. And then if I had, when I went to put it in the envelope and flattened it, it would have had to have created another fold basically for itself. So when you do these and you glue it, just go ahead and when you glue it, immediately flatten it so it's going to adhere exactly where you want it to. And once you've done that, you can flip-flop it. You can fold it this way if you'd rather. I've got like a little spot here. I don't know why. We'll manage that later. I don't know how that happened. Now we'll put our little platform in. Again, this one is just 5 inches across and 1 3/4 of an inch this way, and then 3/8 inches on each side. It's really cute. You're gonna like this. We also went to a China buffet. Now, I know you're thinking, well, what else do you guys do? Do you do anything other than just go and eat? And basically, my answer is yes, but why would you do anything other than that? We hang around the house, you know, for a while. The kids play, and we watch them play, and we play with them, and it's fun. It's fun, but I love to go out and eat. I guess I got that from my mother because that was her favorite thing to do, and so It's just always been one of our favorite things to do, is to just go out and eat. That's what you do when you're getting together as a family. Okay, now this actually, I've got it not quite where I wanted it. I kind of wanted it a little bit more in the center there. But if I can move it, and I just did, but the problem is now I've got some glue where I don't want it. And that's gonna kind of monkey around with things, because the little platform should actually be right here in the center. And you can see it's basically not, because I was talking and didn't take real good care about sticking it in. But you can when you do it. And you don't want to fold the envelope down. This is how it's gonna slide in and out of your envelope. Okay, so now we get to play with the flowers. Very cute. That's just the little box card. So we'll grab out a little bit of Whisper. Oh, it's not Whisper White anymore. Do you guys like the new cardstock? This is called Basic White. I've heard, so some people have been complaining about the thick Basic White, but I never buy the thick anyway. It's very thick. Imagine that. It's very thick. I'm not interested in very thick paper. Because, you know, I do a lot of layers on cards, so if I start messing with thick paper, it's already thick enough by the time you've done all of your designs. All right, have you got this art in bloom? You know, before I even do the envelope, let's do a card using these background stamps. You're going to enjoy seeing these. They're very pretty. You can do all kinds of really fun designs, so we'll just play with it a little bit. They're not like our other border stamps that are longer, that you need the really big giant blocks for. This is going to fit nicely on this block. All right, what do we want to do for colors? Of course, we're going to do Pale Papaya. That's like such an easy no-brainer. And so I don't have to do it this way and try to line things up. We're going to just do it this direction. Oops, I need my cleaning sponge out. Let's grab that out. Okay, I'm gonna try to redirect my light. It seems very dark. I'm not sure. Maybe I bet I have a symbol I can use here. Let's see if I can do that. Did it help? I don't know. I don't even know if it did anything. All right, I saw my hand went up there, but I don't know if it actually did anything at all. I don't think it did. All right, so we'll do our Pale Papaya. We're gonna do, well, we're gonna trim this card down. So we're gonna do one. Oh, let's do that again. Try to get a little better. Oh, I really flubbed it, so we're gonna do it again. Sorry. All right, we'll try to do better this time. And I've got a little smudge there. I don't know, this is a smudgy day, apparently. Okay, that's better. I'm still not getting a great coverage. That's because it's a photopolymer. These things, they just do that. So you can get your little crafty foam piece or your mat. There are boards we've got, you know, that have those and all. And we'll just start all over again here. See if we can have better luck this time. All right, there we go. Now that's better. And then we'll do, we'll leave a little space and we'll do a stamped off version of it. It's pretty pale. I think I can get that a little darker. And it won't hurt it at all. There we go, that's a little better. All right, and maybe one more. Maybe one more in a different color. Should we do this as a guy card? Let's do it as a guy card. So we'll do cinnamon cider. Okay. let's go up here and then do one right there. Okay, so that is all we're gonna do for that. Isn't it a nice little, we have had this design before as a border, but a longer one, and it was slightly different. I kind of forget exactly how it was different, but it just was, and I liked it, but I like this one a little better, I think. All right, so now if we're gonna have this be a guy card, let's stick with our basic guy colors, and that's Mango Melody. That might be a bit on the strong side, so let's go with So Saffron. You can see I've got my old ink. This is a very old So Saffron. It's the linen pad. Oh, I like these linen pads somewhat. I mean, they're not as juicy, and I have inked this one up, but boy, it looks like it needs it again. I hate to buy a new pad, because the new pads, I think the So Saffron one would be fine, but there we go. Okay. Now we'll go with, instead of another one of those, we don't want to cover the card because I want to leave some space here for my sentiment. And because we're just going to use, we're not even going to use the flowers on this one. This one's going to be a guy one. And I'm doing this just so you can kind of see. Now these skinny ones are easy to curve when you put them on the block accidentally. So anymore, I just lay it down and then stick my block on top of it, hoping that it is going to be nice and straight, and normally it is. Again, now this would be a great one to do with your Stamparatus, right? All right, so Saffron, let's stick you here, and maybe one more we'll do down here. Okay, again, pretty forgiving. You don't have to be an expert on that one. This stamp set's gonna just be real simple to use. And then we'll grab our pale papaya out again. My husband at the airport had a big giant pancake. So we envisioned what a big giant pancake looks like at either IHOP or the Pancake House, you know. And no, it literally was almost too big for the platter. And there were two of them. It wasn't even just one. It was two giant pancakes. It was funny. I don't think he's ever not eaten all of his pancakes. He ate half, almost about half of it. Like, well, I was perfectly happy. But that cinnamon roll, I'm serious, lasted me all day. We actually left town that day, so I had popcorn to eat on the way to keep me awake as I was driving my portion of the drive. This one doesn't have stamps that are gonna be great for a guy. Other than the never not loving you and the thanks for making me happy. I mean, that would be fine, but you know, my husband has seen many cards like that. So those are going to be good for something else, but not today. I'm gonna get out my Sunny Sentiments. This is another new stamp set. And I need birthdays always, so I can do that. But I really like this Happy Hello. That's probably my favorite one. This is a really good one if I'm needing a bigger sentiment, which maybe I will do, and we'll just fill that in. Let's go ahead and do something fun with this, with our new embossing folders. We've got some interesting ones. Here's the dots, and here's the checks. Oh, I haven't used the checks yet, but I do really like the dots. And we're gonna just do the dots on one side, okay? There also is this thanks and hello and thanks, I think is what it is. Is it a hello? Yeah, it's a hello in all different languages. Love that. I really like that. That's cool. But we're gonna stick with the dots. And if you've got a mini or a little Cuttlebug or something, then you will be able to use that really easily with these little embossing folders. Okay, we'll just stick you in here. It doesn't matter if I go over the edge a little bit. We'll just do it like that. Okay, now normally, yeah, it will fit. Good. I was going to say normally you would just fit it in like that, but wasn't sure that it would actually fit, but it is. All right, this is my magnetic plate that I've got with this blue one that we sell. And that's the perfect thickness because this is not a 3D one. This is a thin embossing folder. So that's why I did it that way instead of getting out the other base. Okay, so now we've got these nice little raised dots. Kind of nice looking. And I don't think I really want to do anything with those dots. I could, if I wanted to, I could put, you know, I could sponge something on there and you could see them better, but I don't want this to be too super flowery or anything. So we will just use our little happy hello to you. Happy hello to you right there. Will that fit good? Let's look here. Yeah, don't want that one. Actually, no, I don't want a Goodwill. I've got quite a few good get well ones, and I'm not really needing another one right at the moment. I do always need birthday ones. I've used up a lot of my birthday supplies on my sales. Thank you so much. It was nice getting rid of those, but I actually had to make some to replenish my birthday stock. All right, I get my foam pad positioned better, and then we want to make sure this one's going to be seen very well. So let's use our cinnamon cider. If I can find you, there you are. And there you are. I love that cinnamon cider. That's one of my favorite ones. And we'll put you away. Sunny Sentiments. So good. Of course, our grandkids, you know, with their, what they ended up consuming at the airfield was mostly hot chocolate. You know, isn't that the way it always is? Kids are so funny. Now, I can do this, but I think actually rather than cut and trim and all, it'll be quicker if I just use my hippo die. Let's see which one will fit. That one's too small, so we'll do this one. Sure is nice being the grandparent and not really worrying about whether they're eating all that well or not. It's like, they're fine. Because, of course, they're taking care of them, and so they do eat. They make sure that they do eat fine, and I know, and one meal's not going to make or break it. And like, they always look at me. Grandma, can't I have? And I always just say, I'm not in charge of what you eat. I don't even know why you're asking me. You have to ask your parents about that. I have nothing to say about that. All right. They always think that I'm going to come to their aid, but I never do. They're pretty little. They haven't figured it out yet. But Grandma's not gonna, is actually not as helpful as she appears to be. When it goes to the, can I get something that normally my parents won't let me have thing. They haven't realized that both sets of grandparents are like that. Abelins aren't going to be given in either. I don't know why you always almost think, why child would you even think that that's a possibility? It's not even remotely possible, but oh well. Okay, I just did that randomly, not really concerned too much about size. And then we'll stick our little dots on here. Because, of course, this is going to go on a mat. If this was not a guy card, we'd be having a bow, but we will not have a bow. We'll skip the bow. And I do like embellishments on things, though, but I'm not sure what we've got handy. Let's see what we have handy. There's always an assorted leaf somewhere that can look cool. The problem with these wooden leaves are like they are just major postage edition issues. And I do like them, but you know, because they are pretty cool. So we're going to put one, we'll put a couple on. We'll put one up here, and we'll put one down here, a smaller one. Oops, that's just a broken one. I don't really want that. Put one down here. I have dots. The dots actually, I think, might work better. They might even look better. We have some cool square dots. Have you got them? I hope you do. Let's see. These are our in color square dots. They're slightly raised. They're pretty cool. Let's try it. We also went to the Chinese buffet. Oh, Jeff and I were so disappointed because we don't go out to eat very often. But one day last week we said, oh, let's go out to eat tonight. And we went to our Chinese place thinking we were going to get in there and eat because everything's open here now, surprisingly. I mean, I'm sure it's all by kicking and screaming and wailing of gnashing of teeth that it's open, but it is. And I'm not talking about these constituents. I'm speaking strictly about certain politicians who would rather make people's lives miserable rather than pleasant. And they were not open. They're there for takeout only. And Jeff and I just like stared at each other blankly. Then we just said, okay, thank you, and walked away. It's like, I'm not tolerating that. Sorry, we were hoping that we were going to be able to go to you one last time before we leave town, but apparently not. Apparently you've decided to be closed to our business, so that is fine. We went and had Mexican food instead, which was fine, but we were really both wanting to do one last time at our favorite Chinese place. We are so done with eating not out, but eating in. Totally done with that. I'll probably never want to do that again. All right, so I'm just starting with this. I'm just starting with your 5.5 by 4 1/4 just to see what I think about it. Good. That is going to be fine. We'll go ahead and I think trim it down. Maybe I want my cinnamon cider as the piece just under that, though. Let's check it out. I think we do. Yes, that will be fine. So we'll go ahead and just trim down. We'll just leave a tiny, tiny little border here. Oops, was that straight? I don't think it was. Let's try that again. There we go. Uh-oh, that blade is getting dull. Oh my goodness. I thought I was going to get more life out of you, but maybe not. I cut so much paper, it gets dull quickly. And like that. All right, very good. And then that will go on that. Aha! A happy pillow to you. It is very happy, but it's still a little large, so we'll trim it down just a tiny bit. Oh, my favorite, Andy, favorite Chinese place is, and it's purely out of convenience, so don't judge me on this. It's not the greatest food. It's good food. It's good Chinese. It's your standard Chinese food. It's just the Chinese, it's the Golden Palace. That's what it is. The Golden Palace, right on G-Way. And they do have really good broccoli, the broccoli beef thing. And I don't remember what it's called, but they have anything that you get there that has vegetables in it. Generally, it's pretty good. Sometimes, you know, I'm cautious because we've been to Chinese places before where the vegetables are just majorly too cooked. We like them pretty firm, and they do it okay there. I'm not going to say they do it the best. They don't. I've had it better elsewhere, because the vegetables sometimes could be just a bit more firm for me, but it's passable. And for us, it's really good because we rarely go for anything healthy anyway. When we're going to the Chinese restaurant, we are purely going for the almond chicken and the sweet and sour chicken and the sweet and sour pork and the spring rolls and the, you know what I'm saying. All the stuff that's high in sodium. It might not be all that high in, a lot of anything fried is going to be very high in fat. So that's what we're going for. All right, I'm going to put this on a base card later, but you get the idea. Isn't that a cute deal? Love that. All right, now we are going on to, what about you, Andy? Do you have, there's a really good one in Pasco. Do you know which one that is? Or it used to be really good. Now, I think they've got like, it's called a Chinese, is it the dragon one? I don't remember. But anyway, it used to be really good. And then Chinese Gardens, that's what it was. It used to be great, but I don't think that it necessarily is anymore. I know the last time, which was years ago now, Jeff and I went, we just said, what in the world happened to that place? Because it used to be good. Your flowers in this set start with your lined drawing. Don't cut them apart. You want to keep them all in the one collection, because that's how they're all, well, actually the fill colors are separate, so you don't have to worry about it for that. But the die is all together, and it's actually spaced really nicely. And sometimes I cut these dies apart. It's kind of hard to do, and you really couldn't do it with this without ruining your die. I don't think you want to. The thing about this is if you buy it in the bundle, you get your stamps, you get your dies, and you also have a nice little tag. Here's the little tag that comes with that. The leaves, the little flowers, but here's the winner. It's this Art in Bloom, the Bloom Hybrid. It's called a Hybrid 3D embossing folder. I'm not sure why it's a hybrid. Should I show you what you can do with this? I think I showed you before, didn't I? No, maybe not. Anyway, if you take, let's try a color I haven't done yet. I've done a few. We'll take our Fresh Freesia. And you're going to look at your case and make sure you're inking up the front of it. Okay, so we'll ink up the front. Oh, you're going to love this. It's pretty special. I know you've seen this technique done. This isn't new, but again, it doesn't have to be new to be terribly exciting. It doesn't have to be new to just like wow me every time. Like, I can't believe that looks so good. Some stamps are just better than others. And some embossing folders are better than others too. All right, so let's grab out the old machine. Now this is a 3D one, so I need to have the base white plate and a clear plate. And where's that paper I was going to use? Maybe it was this one, or do I have one? Oh, I do have one ready here. Here's that. I hope that's Whisper White or white. Okay, so now you're going to gingerly place that in there. Oh, it's shifted a bit, but that's okay. I'm going to have to go wash my hands when I'm done doing this, though. That's one reason I don't like doing this technique on camera. It's like, oh my, totally messy. Oh, that's not it. I got to have the blue plate. I thought it was that plate, but it's not. It's the blue plate. Are you still having sandwich trouble? I still have sandwich trouble every single time. Okay. At least I don't have, so I'm not having as much sandwich trouble. Usually I only have to take out and switch the plate one time. Look at that. Ho, ho, ho. That is absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to run and wash my folder really quick. You can still kind of hear me here in the kitchen. Sort of. I don't think I got too much ink on myself, surprisingly. So then you just make sure you get your folder nice and clean. And there we go. It's all ready to do again. But the detailing in that die is just, or embossing folder, is so cool. Look at that. So you get that with that set, and that is just gorgeous all on its own. You can color your flowers. You can color the background because there's not enough of it to have, you know, that for that to be a problem. But that is not the one we are using. Now maybe I'll go with the fresh freesia though, and maybe we will use, we'll pull some of those in, because here's the thing, that's one other reason you don't want to cut these flowers apart. Let me find the correct one. It actually cuts these out. Now when you do cut them out, of course, it is going to flatten it a tiny bit, but you can always run it through your folder again. It's really simple to do. And you kind of need to run it through so you can see exactly where you're going to cut that. And then these leaves will also cut out some, you know, of the leaves too. There's enough options. You'll figure it out. Okay, so this is probably, I think, one of the best flower sets they've had. When you see the stamps, the stamped flowers, I think you're going to agree. Let's do soft suede instead of black. It has pretty strong centers, so we're going to go ahead and do soft suede. And we'll see how that turns out. Beautiful. I don't think we need more than 3, so we'll just stop there. And with this one, for you people who do not like coloring, this is a good one for you, because you do not have to color. You've got your flower colors right here. Okay, so we'll stick that, oops, upside down. There we go. We got to do one in pale papaya so we can match our cardstock up. Okay, so we've got our pale papaya. That one's going here. Somehow, somewhere. I think so. Maybe it's this one. I don't think so. Is it this one? Ah, it's this one. This is actually, this one's easier to line up than some have been. I'm not finding that to be too difficult. And you, if you're fussy like me, you can take your blending pen, and then you can fix this if that bugs you. It's not at all hard to do. You see? It's better to have it err on the side of needing to fix that way than to have it on the outside. I really don't like it on the outside. I do like the veins, so then I take my dark matching color and fill that in. I've been doing that. I'm not going to do it on all these flowers, so you don't have to watch me doing it, but I have been doing that. It just gives it a bit more dimension. All right, so pale papaya for one. I think we're going to stick with you, pale papaya, but we'll do a stamped off version of you. So let's do the smaller one. Oops, you don't go there, you go over here. I am not using my stamp case properly. You're supposed to be putting these neatly back exactly where the designs are. But as you can see, I put my dies on one side, covering up one, and quickly I realized, I don't really care. I can tell what it is. So there's a stamped off one, And I think this will be nice and pale. If it's too pale, then I'll do something else, because that's pretty pale. Actually, I'm going to just do another stamped off version of it just to get it a little darker, but I kind of want to stick with that color. I don't really want it to be anything but. And then we'll do a fresh freesia. And, nope, not that one. Oh, there you are, right there. Nice and easy. You don't even have to color, do you? Oh, you did. She did a video on this. Oh, you don't need to flatten. Put the die in the embossing folder. Sylvia. And this is what Julie, you said that too. Put your die in the inside the embossing folder. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna ask you if this is what you're talking about. You're putting the die inside here. Let me figure it out, what you're telling me. Okay, so it does fit. I can feel the grooves. Fits in. So then when you emboss, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I know you could, but what's going to happen is it is eventually going to leave ridges on my embossing folder. If I only wanted to use this one time, I might do that. But I use my stamps a lot. In fact, I use my supplies a lot. And what's going to happen if I do that is, yes, indeedy, it is going to cut, and it will cut those out as well. But I guarantee you, it is going to leave ridges on that side. And if you only ever want to emboss this direction, and you know, and you don't ink your folder up, and you are never planning to ink the back side, but I sometimes ink the back side. And I do these things, I do a lot. So I'm really careful about how I use my dies so that I'm not damaging stuff that I'm going to want to use in the future. So I'm going to just go ahead and say that will work. I know it will, but I will never use that technique. All right, so we're going to use a fresh freesia for this one. Now, if you guys have done it and you've tested it and you think that it's not doing that, let me know. I still am never going to use that technique, but other people watching this would like to hear that other people have done it and it's not damaging it, and they're perfectly happy to use it that way. Because it would save the step of flattening the flower out. But actually, I'm going to go ahead and just say it's pretty simple after I've flattened it to stick it back in exactly in the right place, run it through again, and then my flowers are all puffed up again. So anyway, maybe that would be not simplifying things enough to do it that way. I don't know. All right, let's see. I've lost my... While I was playing with that die, somehow I managed to lose a whole packet of stamps, because it's not this, it's somewhere laying about. Oh, it's not gone, it's here somewhere. It's probably on the floor. Oh, there it is. Always on the floor. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut these out so that I can use them in our little box card. It doesn't cut the folder. Oh, and that's why it's called a hybrid folder. Okay, thank you, Sylvia. I was wondering why it was called a hybrid. That was confusing to me. Do you have it, and have you guys tried it? I'm not going to try it until I have heard people who use products more than 2 times before giving, selling, or throwing them away. Because I really don't think that the people who work in our offices, I don't think they use products like I do, which is like for 25 years so far and counting. I never get rid of my stuff. I mean, I have to hate it, literally, to get rid of it. This is something I will never get rid of. Never, never. So I want it to be in great shape in the future. Now, one thing you can do, I'm going to actually use this on that box envelope, but you can color it and then you can stick these on top. If you want to emboss them again, you could stick them on top. You know, you can just color them. What I did with one thing is I stamped this design and then put the sentiment in the center and then cut it out with a die and stuck it on so that it matched the lines, and that was cool. So there's just a whole lot of things you can do with this set. It's really a really versatile set. I am going to kind of need to have some kind of support coming, and I'm going to use the leaves to do that because I need these to be sticking out on top. Okay, so we'll get our little leaves going here. Okay, you have it on order. Good. Okay, so that's good. Sylvia, can you put the name of that person down who you saw do that? I know we would all like to watch that as well. I love watching the other one. I don't always. I don't have a lot of time to, so I don't watch a lot of other demonstrations, but I would like to. If I had more time, I would be watching them all the time. And I would love to know who that is. Okay, so let's try our soft suede again for the leaf. Get a few of these. There's not a ton of these. Maybe I should use my paper instead for my support, because this is going to take too long, and I don't want to take forever here. So instead of doing it this way, just know that I can use those. I'm not going to just cast them aside, because probably I'm going to want to get them out and we'll fill our paper with it. But I need to get my supports going quickly here so that we can finish and get ourselves out and on to the day. But here are your little stamped fills, and actually, if I want it to be exactly the way I just stamped it, since I had 2 of them on the block, let's go ahead and just stick it back on my block again in exactly where it should probably be. And then I don't have to. Okay, let's check my colors. Okay, let's see, what have we got? What have we got? We've got, I know we have a whole lot of really nice ferny things with our Forever Fern. Where are you, Forever Fern? I think what we'll do is we'll use our old ornate. I've got one more sheet of this, and this will make a nice support that's kind of similar colors. Just trying to find a good spot to start snipping here. Thank you, Sylvia. Oh, good. Thank you, Jewel. That's awesome, you guys. That's fabulous. I will enjoy looking at those. And when I do, I'm going to just say, oh, I never thought of that, because I know they will have done things very unique. And I'll just think, I never would have thought of that. That is such a great idea. All right. Trying to not be too careful because I need to move along here, but I'm actually trying to get some leaf here. And if it peeks out, I need it to be able to peek out attractively. So we'll just keep going around. Now there is a die that could have done some of this too for me, I believe, but not really, not all of it. It's very windy again all of a sudden. Good grief, that wind. It just won't stop. This must be one of the summers or springs that the wind, I one time wrote in my garden journal that the wind didn't stop until June. It was right around June 15, so right around here. And it hasn't been quite as bad as that this year, but it's been close. It's been pretty windy. All right, that's pretty big, and that's good because I really don't want all of that in there. And I can shorten it up for one thing. And go like this. Yeah, that's probably fine. Nope, shorten it up a bit more. Okay, good. So that is going to give me a little support there for my flowers. That'll be attractive. Looking for my dimensionals. What did you do with them? Okay, I'm going to have to declutter. Can't find my dimensionals. Where did they go to? Well, we'll get these out. I stuck a few big ones on my minis, so we'll do that. I'm going to just stick these right here. And tuck you in there. Okay, so now we can put our little bit slightly more attractive flowers here. And fresh freesia, we need you to cover up some of that there. So maybe we'll do that. Stick you guys in there. We'll stick you on top there. Okay, like so. And like that. And this one we're going to stick on top here, and I kind of need another one because maybe I'll just put my tag here to cover up my flub. Shall I? Okay, where's my glue? All right, brilliant idea, though, of using it so that you could cut it out in the emboss. There's just so many things you can do with those embossing folders. I would never have thought of using it that way. All right, so that's that. And then we'll grab out maybe just a couple of these. And we'll use our old olive since we've got the remains of our, it's pretty strong, so let's stamp that off. There we go. That's better shading. We'll do one more and see what we get. Not bad. So, since you guys have already watched that, the leaves, you probably could stick the leaves in there too, then the ones that actually fit. There is one, no, I bet you can't because this die would be taking that space and you wouldn't be able to do it. But if you were not doing the flower, but you did just want the die for the leaf, you probably could do that. All right, rather than do our die, let's do this really quickly. I better do the die. It's not coming out nicely. These These minis take a long time when you need to cover a big space. I always have a lot of minis on hand. It takes a long time to use up one of those packages. Oh, come on, guys. Stop coming off. Stay put. Please. Pretty please. In a week, I'm going to go to Spokane, and so next week, probably not going to be doing my Facebook Live. I don't know. Sometimes I have time to do a video, and then I put it on, but it will not be a Facebook Live because I will be in Spokane next week. Jeff is going to be here holding down the fort, but I have family I need to visit before we make our long move, and it's a much overdue visit. Really looking forward to it. All right, couple of leaves there. You could do more if you wanted to, but we're gonna just leave it at that. At any rate, we have a tag already done, so I think I'll just stick it on here, and you can stick it on the side sticking out, and it'll still be fine. Look at that. There's all these little pieces that got that, little inks, something was on the bottom of my cutting machine, and it messed up my background paper and messed this up too. Interesting. All right, so you're a rare find. I love that. Very cute. It goes really nice with a dear friend too. Let's see if it'll all fit on my... It won't, because your rare find's pretty large. Let's see. Yeah, that's barely gonna fit, so my dear friend won't fit. Oh well. And we need fresh freesia for that. Uh-oh, where did you go? There you are. Oh, so the last place we went and got ice cream. They have a wonderful ice cream place right there in Nampa. And it's always super busy when we're there. But they had the same girl there. She must love working there, and they must love her. I'm sure she's really good. Oh, look at that. I kind of flubbed it. Let's do it again because I got ink all over there. Let's try that again. I got chocolate Butterfinger. Ooh, that sounds good, doesn't it? I had a waffle bowl. So instead of a waffle cone that I'm going to make a big mess on, they have these little bowls. And there's a waffle thing. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I really love just the plain old sugar cones. But the waffle bowl was delicious. And the chocolate Butterfinger was really good too. I wasn't sure if I would taste much of the Butterfinger with all the chocolate and almond roca. Yum, yum. Perfect temperatures. It was like in the 80s, so not too cold, not too hot. We'll just put our glue right on our spot where this has to, and ribbon would be really nice here, wouldn't it? Let's see what I've got. I think I actually have a piece that's a spare that I wanted to use before, but it's not really fresh freesia. So let's grab a little bit of the fresh freesia ribbon here, and we'll stick that in there, and then I'll have to re-glue. There. I'll trim off my ends here in a minute. Why are you guys not sticking down for me? You're just not. There we go. It's not going where I want it though. So let's do you here as well, trying to avoid my big spot of glue. All right, try that. There. Kind of going right over my glue, aren't I? And there. I'm going to have to go with our dimensionals now that I've messed up my glue. Got glue and dimensionals going all over here. My nails need to be done majorly. I did get a haircut, finally. It's nice to be able to curl my hair again. When it was long, I didn't even bother curling it ever because it was just pulling out the curl like within 1 hour or less. There we go. I did it back up upside down. Oh, you're having all kinds of trouble today, huh? Okay, here we go. There it is. It's cute. Very cute. There's your little box card. You can go fold it either way and slide it on in. You can layer other things in there too. It's actually quite roomy. So you can have a whole bunch of things coming out. And so maybe I'll work on that a little bit later and do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you for all the feedback too. I appreciate that a lot as well. And enjoy watching our Crow Cottage. It's going to be the Crow Cottage for a while, then it's going to be a crow apartment, and then it's going to be a crow house. I'm not going to call it a house. I'm not sure what it's going to be. We'll see. Crow Cottage is going with us. Our brother-in-law made that. My brother-in-law did, so that's going along, but it's not going to be a cottage. We're going to get an actual house this time that's got room enough for guests. So if you ever come to Missouri, check us out. We'll be there. And if you have friends or family in Missouri, let them know I am coming next month in June. I'm going. I am going to get this business going again in July. I will have space eventually once we have a house to have classes again. And it'll be nice to have my own crafting space. I've never really had one here. So it'll be nice to have that. It's a great time to join my team, and I would love to have you. Now, all you guys watching are demonstrators, and you are already with someone else, but other people tune in at various times, and you never know. Somebody might be out there just waiting to be part of a team, and our team is really fun because one thing I like to do is create little things like this, and we put them together for our team meeting. And our team meetings are mostly, I'm the only one who really runs it like a business. Other people can anytime they want to. And we have lots of support in our upline for people who want to run a business of it. But those of us who are on my team really just want to have fun. That frees us up a great deal. We have a lot less restrictions on what we can do and what we can use in our team challenges, where you get to win, stamp bundles and stamp sets. You also have less restrictions on our team page, our private team page, what we discuss and what products we use. So we have a lot of freedom on our team. It's really sweet. And then again, I send out, we do these as team meetings, and we do talk Stampin' Up! Shop, but more from the fun perspective rather than the sales perspective. All right, so this is the month to do it. It's May, and it's going to be all done by May 31. The deal will be done, and you won't be able to get it. $99, and you get more than $155 worth of products if you join our team. So I would love to have you. Just go over to my page and join, and you'll be all set to go. And I send out our team stuff. I've been sending it out in 6-month batches. So that everybody gets their kit well ahead of time, and we have great time on Zoom doing it together, because now after I move, all of us are going to be apart. I've only had a couple of people that will come and do it with me here, and then everybody else does it on Zoom or our Facebook page, because I do it in both venues. But after I move, until some people join me in Missouri, it's going to just be all on Zoom. So I'm hoping in Missouri I'll be able to find some people to join our team so that there's actual people with me doing those, because it is more fun. All right, thanks a lot, ladies, and I won't see you next week, but I will see you in 2 weeks, and you have a wonderful day, okay? Thanks for sharing. Bye.